Welcome to 6th part of how to use ScrumDesk channel. Today we are going to talk about stories. User stories is concept defined by extreme programming and later used by Scrum authors to identify and to provide information about requirements. User story is a small agreement between customer and the team. The goal to have user story is to have very brief description of the requirement, which is easy to be manipulated with and provides enough information to talk and discuss the functionality. So user story is a source for discussion, not full description of the requirement. In ScrumDesk we use the same approach. All stories are displayed on index cards. However, our cards are a little bit much more informative. So every card is displayed with some color, and it provides possibility to display not just brief detail, which is visible by default, but you can also check some task or chart on the card. Card can be resize it according to your needs, and there are some basic informations. The first is ID of the story. Use this ID for your further discussion as a reference number. Then there we have title of the story. Title of the story is in ScrumDesk provided just to have brief information about the story, and later we have here a description where you can write typical user story in the form: as a user I would like to achieve what, so I have a benefit. This is typical form how to write stories. To easily recognize how big story is, we are providing also information about the effort, where you can choose the size or complexity of the story from a modified Fibonacci scale used by Mike Cohn. You can also enter the number if you prefer to use values which are not available in the combo box of sizes. On the right side there is a duration which says something about the time. The number here is representing the duration required to complete the story. Here you see the priority or importance of the story, so you can use any number, and to provide possibility for grouping of stories, feel free to use this theme. For example, user interface. Using categories or themes, you can group stories which are somehow related to each other, describing much bigger functionality. What else is available here is a colored bar, indicates the progress or status of the story, and colors statuses are to be done, check it out, verified, and done. You can also say that this story is your favorite story, so you can mark it and you can easily then find it. And there is a possibility to change the color of the story card, and of course some additional meters. Of course, story it's written during the sprint planning meeting, but it is very good to have it break it down into more detailed tasks, and those tasks are accessible from the card as well. So it's our little small addition to typical index cards, where you can see not just the title of the task, you can see also the time, estimated duration, how much of work has been completed, what time is remaining. You can see the status of the task and who is going to work on it, who is assigned it. Expanding the combo, you can see even a relative availability of your team members and the current role. So you can really level your resources according to the needs and availability of your team members. Later, the progress of the task can be tracked or checked in a burn chart available on the third menu item. Of course, cart contains only selected information. So to provide this full functionality of ScrumDesk, click Open button to display Detail window. The Detail window allows you to provide the same information, but it also allows you to provide more information like tags. So you can write your own tags for better categorization of your stories. Here we have type of the story, we can track task, we can also change the order, we can also display the detail of the task with additional informations that can be attached to the task. There is a possibility to write acceptance criteria for your story, play with prioritization according to business value, according to risk, dependencies, and also you can use Kano model to define satisfaction of your customer if this story will be implemented or not. And you can use brief categorization, prioritization of your stories, especially at the beginning once you have a lot of stories and you need to identify your priorities. Another possibility is to track impediments. You can even assign them. You can track the current status of your impediments. You can also attach some files or capture a screen to the file. Those files could be available for all your team members, even the team is distributed. You can attach links, and of course you can comment the story in case there is some discussion about the story. ScrumDesk provides you possibility to track dependencies between different stories, and this way you can keep your backlog up to date even your product is more complicated. And of course the last time there are history changes, but only changes which are relevant to progress of the story. From the detail card and directly from the card available on the board, you can contact your team and you can immediately call anyone who is somehow related to the story. So in case there are more team members working on task of this story, your product owner can call them right from the ScrumDesk user interface.